Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome to another spectacular Spider-Man game! It's the Sam Raimi Spider-Man! On the Nintendo Gamecube. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell us your favorite Spider-Man movie in the comment section below. Be awesome to see this video get 1,000 likes for Spider Hype. We'll be back right after this.
This is cool.
Spider-Man, the video game, 2002.
That was an awesome intro.
I know, right? This is the GameCube Spider-Man with the really creepy loading screen. So what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to the Kwings Let's Play channel, and our Spidey Marathon continues with Spider-Man on the GameCube.
Oh yeah!
2 years after the N64 Spider-Man, this game is essentially the same version of that linear Spider-Man game with a new coat of paint and some new moves to boot. Plus, it is the movie style of the Sam Raimi Spider-Verse. So
awesome.
This was the first game in the series. It was one of the last linear Spider-Man games before the open world madness.
Greetings.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the tutorial.
And it has Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, I know.
Oh
you
my
want to
gosh.
get on with things, beat up the bad guys, do the whole superhero thing, blah, blah, blah. Well, everyone's got to start somewhere. Trust me, when you're hip deep in trouble later on, you'll be glad you went through this. All right, now let's get started. Now get the gum out of your ears and listen good. Touch the question mark directly in front of you.
Yes, Bruce Campbell is awesome in this game.
Well, good to see that you can follow basic instructions.
So
Now,
funny.
these question marks will teach you how to use your powers. Check out the compass. Your compass will point straight towards your next objective. Up on the compass means forward to you. You follow me?
No.
Well, stop following me or I'll have you arrested.
So the Spider Compass is back from the N64 Spider-Man PlayStation game. See it right there?
Aw, I guess there will never be anyone
Now, this
quite like this
doohickey
game.
is the height meter, not to be confused with the width meter. It lets you know how much higher or lower you are from the next objective. Now, you are the little red dot, and your target is blue, so now's your chance to self-test for color blindness. Anyway, using the compass and height meter together,
That's a good
you
one.
should be able to find your next objective, no matter where it is. Go ahead, give it a shot. I'll wait.
Wait, I can't tell the difference
But not
between
for
red
long.
and blue. I must be colorblind.
Okay, so the red one is where we are, and the blue one is where we need to go. There's also something funny happens if you jump off, so here we go.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Careful there, Captain Jumpy. Now, since you're just getting started, we're going to let you get away with moves like that. But once you're out in the big bad city, passing below a certain height means sayonara Spidey. Try not to let yourself get too low.
Okay, Bruce Campbell, we'll do our
This is
best.
incredible! Am I really doing this?
Well, you're easily impressed, aren't you? You haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet.
And that's, of course, Tobey Maguire as
Oh,
Spider-Man.
wow. He's actually using
Ooh,
motion.
that's some view, huh? Okay, well look, it's just training, right? To rotate the camera, push left or right on the C-stick. You can recenter the camera behind you by pushing down on the C-stick.
Okay, so the C-stick is, of course, how you control your camera in a 3D environment, and then you just hold it back to change the view in front of
Okay,
you.
the topic at hand is web swinging. But let's get one thing straight first. Do not try this at home, okay? Your house isn't nearly tall enough. Now that the public service message is out of the way, press the R button to start web swinging. Now, if you need to floor it, hold down the R button while you swing. You go faster, but you won't turn worth beans. Web swing over to your next objective. Use your compass and height meter to find it.
They really need Bruce Campbell in the PS4 game.
Why did they have Bruce Campbell do this? Oh wait, because he was in the movie, right?
Hey, king of the world, don't let it go to your head, okay? Hooray for you, you're swinging. But sooner or later, you're probably going to want to drop. You can break your web line by pressing the A button.
Yeah, so this is web swinging.
It's kind of cool that they have the lines around here showing it is training and it's not like the...
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, I need to familiar myself with the controls again because it's been a long time since I played
So,
this.
you just couldn't resist jumping down here, huh? Well, I guess I should tell you something then. Oh, how about this? You can jump higher than normal by quickly tapping the A button twice. A double jump can sometimes get you out of difficult spots.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah.
So now he's teaching you about double jumping. I mean, the tutorial, while it's funny, it is useful to teach you the controls because it has been about almost 3 years since the last Spider-Man game. So
it's so great to have a funny tutorial because tutorials are the worst, and it actually makes the tutorial enjoyable and fun to do.
So, what I mean by 3 years, too, people, is not everyone had... Well, a lot of people had the PlayStation, but Nintendo fans, the last time they played a Spider-Man game would have been on the N64.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. And most people couldn't afford
Here's a little
those
party
systems.
favor for you. A combo power-up. Try to locate as many of these babies as you can. Each time you get one, you'll unlock a new web power or combo to add to your list of attacks. For those of you playing along at home, that's a good thing. Oh, and for those of you with short-term memory issues, which would be most of you, you can check out a list of the combos you've unlocked in the pause menu.
Okay, so we're gonna do some attacking. The reason why everybody had a PlayStation, though, is because it was so easy to pirate.
Are you ready to dish out some old-fashioned justice? Throw a punch with the B button. Ooh! And kick with the X button. Waha! You can also do more powerful combo attacks by quickly pressing different buttons. All right, kiddo, let's see what you got.
What you doing up here, pencil neck?
Sightseeing.
Pencil neck.
Also, look at how the thugs are the same thugs from the original Spider-Man 64
I can't
game.
believe how much stronger I am. This is too cool.
Wow, good for you. If you want to throw some more goons around, knock on the door by facing it and pressing the punch button. I'm gonna grab a ham sandwich. Whenever you're done beating bad guys up, follow your compass and height meter.
Okay, so just to get back to the PlayStation thing real quick, like PlayStation had like some of the highest system sales ever, but it had
Lost kid?
it had very low software sales because people would pay money to get the system and then they would think that it would lessen their conscience for having like hundreds of games they didn't pay for or they rented to copy onto their, you know,
I know.
CD-ROM burner.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just feel like the more famous...
So here you are on the side of a building. Your next marker is up, so you could crawl, but I know you. No, you want to go fast. You want it now. Well, I'll tell you a secret. If you press the L button while crawling on a wall, you'll web zip in the direction you're crawling. Huh? Who's your buddy?
Web zip in the direction you're crawling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
But wait, there's more. If you press the L button while you're running, you'll web zip in the direction you're moving.
So this is a new ability that was not in the previous 3D Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
It's the web zip.
Now, if you're standing still and you press the L button, you'll web zip straight up, as long as there's something to stick to above you. Otherwise, you'll just fly out into space forever.
And that's the other one. So,
alrighty, you're almost done. So why don't we end with something a little fancy? If you hold the Y button and quickly press the L button, you can suspend yourself from a web line and slowly raise or lower yourself. This is a sneaky way to check out unfamiliar areas.
It never works,
So it doesn't really work.
It works better on the ground. Here, I'll show you. So we're gonna go down here and then hold Y and there we go.
Yo-yo, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was a pretty full day, huh? So look, if you need to go over this tutorial, or if you just plain missed me, which, who could blame you, you can access basic training from the menu anytime you want. So follow your compass and height meter to the exit. Good luck.
Yep, that's the spider yo-yo.
Yeah. Yeah, they had that web zip in Disney Infinity Spider-Man.
Yes, they did. So yeah, they added the web zip, the ability to, you know, do the classic upside-down Spider-Man move, which was a big thing in the movie because Mary Jane kisses Spider-Man that way. So they had to incorporate that into the game.
Yeah, I just feel like Tobey Maguire, like, he actually has emotion here. It just shows that he could have had emotion in all those other games.
This is why I said I liked him as Spider-Man, because he actually did pretty well in the first 2 games.
And it's like, I think he just got so famous, he just didn't even care anymore later on. Because this was the first movie. This was around the time of the first movie.
Yep, and
So he wasn't that
the Batman
famous.
Begins cast, they reprised their role for the Batman Begins video game, which we covered on this channel,
So
and
he,
they did a fantastic job as well.
So he became too famous to care.
I don't know, I think by the time he came in to do the voiceover for the third game, it wasn't as exciting. This was like, he'd never done a video game before. Bruce Campbell had done video games before, and,
Yeah.
you know, it was
He
just...
should have put his emotion into it, though.
He
Good
did
job,
for 2
kid.
games.
You
Yeah.
might just make something of yourself after all. Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Yeah, because this game's actually hard. I'm gonna let you know that right now. Alrighty, let's go into the
This is how
game.
my story begins. My Uncle Ben and Aunt May raised me like a son. They never had much money, though. I thought my powers could help make up for that. The last time I saw Uncle Ben alive, we argued. I took out my frustration in the ring. Poor Bonesaw never even saw me coming.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
The fight promoter cheated me, so I didn't think it was my problem when he got robbed.
12 Henry, call back on that 187 in connection with the carjacking at the 42nd Street Library.
10-4. Suspect is believed to be a member of the Skull's gang. Proceed with caution.
Really thick accent there.
I know.
Look for Skull Gang thugs on building tops.
Take caution.
Yeah, exactly. I hate this loading screen.
Oh, it's so creepy.
That doesn't
Uncle
stand
Ben.
out.
I know.
Murdered. I have to find the guy who did it.
Oh, that is important. That yellow thing is a combo thing.
Okay.
So we're gonna grab that.
There's nothing Peter Parker can do at this point. But Spider-Man is a different story. This is supposed to be the Skull's territory. I'll find Uncle Ben's killer if I have to go through every one of the Skulls to do it.
Spider emotion.
Yeah, this is like such a big difference between the N64 and the GameCube. It's
Oh yeah,
amazing.
well the GameCube was a 128-bit system and up, and the N64 was 64 bits and 32.
So the GameCube was an unbelievable system, actually. Like, it's just amazing. Like,
It had
this
better
is-
visuals than the PS2 did.
This is unbelievable.
Some
can't-
people have even said that the GameCube had better visuals than the Xbox, but it also had limited hardware in space because of the tiny discs. For whatever
They didn't know
reason,
anything, but
Why
I'm
would
just
they
getting
put the
started.
Nintendo always had to stand out. But the GameCube was a really beloved system for gamers in the early 2000s, and up till about 2006 was the... Actually, no, I think they had a game released in 2007.
Oh, it should have done so much better, the GameCube.
It should have, but they tried to stand out.
Yeah.
But then, of course, everybody made fun of the Wii because graphically it was like 2 GameCubes stacked together.
Oh my gosh. Right.
But Nintendo had the last laugh because they did the motion controls.
Yeah, they were the first to do that, actually.
And they also implemented some stuff to prevent a lot of piracy.
Another dead end.
So, I mean,
One of these losers is gonna give me some answers.
I would say that video game piracy for Sony ended like right around the time that PS3 was announced. Because they added like the HDCP lock and they did some stuff to prevent the discs from being like burned and stuff. They even
Yeah.
changed the layer of the discs on the PS2 near the end of its life cycle to prevent a lot of that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think that's also part of the reason why the PS3 was so expensive too, is because they were trying to make money back from software sales that were stolen in the West.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Yeah, I mean, but look at the difference. I mean, the detail of the buildings, the detail of his hoodie and his face, even his shoes, and like, there's ground. Like,
You can't go to the ground though.
Oh, okay, but you can see cars moving on the ground and stuff.
But this was kind of like it wasn't a sandbox Spider-Man game, but look at the lighting effects too.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that a lot. It looks really nice.
And they're trying to do a film score similar to Danny Elfman's Spider-Man Sam Raimi movies.
Oh, yeah.
But this is its own composition that works for this Spider-Man game, I think. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this game was a lot of fun. I mean,
Treyarch right there.
I got rid of it because it was one of the games that, you know, was just in the big pile that I sold in 2004.
Yeah.
And I did like this game, but Spider-Man 2, which is the first, like, free-roaming Spider-Man game, if you really think about it, it was an amazing game. The only downside to Spider-Man 2 that I didn't like is Spider-Man was so small. Like, here, you can see how detailed the character is for his time.
He looks good here. I actually like... I mean, you can tell that this is... you can tell that this is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man from the movie.
Yes.
Yep. Shadow agrees.
The big difference with this character, though, is the web swinging... It looked better in the later Spider-Man games, but for what it was, I mean, this was still... pretty big deal.
I mean, yeah,
compared... can't get away from me.
When you look at, like, what we were just looking at, the N64, and then you look at this, I mean, it feels like this just moved, like, 7 steps ahead of the N64. Like, it didn't just do 1 step ahead. It was like, oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. And the cutscenes are, like, like, they didn't even have cutscenes in the N64.
I should really find the owner, but I have to track down Uncle Ben's killer.
I don't even remember how to pick up that purse, but it's just kind of there.
Purse is there,
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm loving this. This is awesome. Even the sky looks cool, and even the glint on the sides of the buildings, the glow and stuff. It's amazing.
So the big difference between the console wars back then is the GameCube was the last system to compete with the other 3 graphically.
Oh.
The N64, or sorry, the Wii and Wii U both were a few steps behind visually.
Yeah.
It's a cool scene.
A carjacker killed an old man earlier today. The killer's a skull. Where is he?
I can't tell you. He killed me.
What makes you think I won't?
Oh my gosh. He's trying being Batman.
Probably not a shipping warehouse. It's right on the river. That's all I know.
Thanks.
But notice how the music complements the scene too. Mm-hmm. Like, it gets intense, it gets fun.
It definitely feels like, yeah, they did a really good job with composing this music for the game.
If you get too close to the buildings, you also, like, will take, not a little bit of damage, but Spider-Man's web animation will change.
Yeah, this is amazing. So yeah, now I can understand what you're talking about when you say the GameCube was, you know, one of the best, like, Nintendo
We have a lot of
ever.
games for it, and you can see, well, I mean, here's the difference. People were like, what in the world were you guys using to video capture the 64? We were using a special S-Video HDMI out. What I'm worried about with this one is Elgato right now is saying that this is 640 by 480p, which means that this is not going to... I'm worried because
it's not going to capture it.
Well, no, it's capturing it, but the resolution might dip when we render it because it's not in 720p. It's not running at 60 frames per second or anything like that. This is an older game. We have like a really cool HDMI input on the Wii.
Yeah.
But it doesn't capture it at what, like, you know, HDMI would look at, but it's still pretty good. You know, I'm gonna have fun playing this game, so I hope you guys will enjoy it as well. So
yeah, definitely.
Sounds like the police are closing in. They can have whatever's left after I'm done.
It is heavily story driven, and it will feature characters that did not appear in the movie. So there are some comic book villains in this, which act as like filler arcs between the movie stuff. But I think it's handled really well. Search for justice.
That's such a cool logo, too.
Yep, and you're graded at the end, so you have to watch out for that.
Yeah, they can actually put the logo correctly in here, too.
I'm really happy that the comic book store had this for, like, just $4 though, because
Oh, I know.
they're still selling this online for like $30.
Yeah.
New. But when he told me, yeah, the disc is like in perfect condition, it's like we can definitely record a series on this. So I was pretty happy about that. This is bringing back a lot of memories for me. I was like heading into college, or no, I was back from college when this game came out. So I was just starting work in the quote private sector. So yeah,
That's always fun.
Huh. What's this door doing open? Man! People gotta be more careful. The cops could show up at any time.
he's a self-aware thug.
I know, right? He's so conscientious. It's like,
He's very polite.
You see those heavily shadowed areas? Whenever you're in a shadowed spot like that, you become invisible to the bad guys.
Bruce. All right, so
Okay.
this game doesn't have any stealth takedowns that I can remember, but you can hide from enemies in dark areas.
oh yeah, it's the same mechanics as the Nintendo 64, where you're on the ceiling and the ceiling
kind
is
of.
like clear.
Circus in town?
So the gold spiders again, which we learned in the training, stealth failed, see? They're new moves that you can acquire. So I think it was punch. There it is. So Spider-Man's like combos change as you find like these different yellow spider things. But unlike some of the other later Spider-Man games we played on the PS3 and you know, other systems, there's really no Arkham stealth takedown things yet.
Okay.
Later Spider-Man games utilize the web to do certain fun things, like Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man Ultimate, which a lot of people want us to look at Spider-Man Ultimate.
What's with
I
that?
like parts of Spider-Man Ultimate, but
Out of my way.
there's some stuff that I always found really difficult, and I never beat that game, because you have to do random stuff to continue the story. Like, they'll make you do
Yeah.
a speed attack where you have to land a certain way on, like, these
What?
little, like, red circle things.
And that's part of the actual story?
They keep the story locked from you until you complete, essentially, a bunch of side missions from Spider-Man 2.
Oh my gosh.
So Spider-Man 2 and 3 for me were the superior open world games,
Looks like
Yeah.
because I don't like some of the things they added to
Just
Ultimate
stay home,
Spider-Man.
It makes you jump through random
Wrong
hoops
guy.
to complete
You're
the story.
so dead.
Because it's not an HD game, I think it would be a fun live stream just to show it, but I will never be able to complete it because I can't do the time attack stuff.
Yeah.
Fighting the different, like, generic bad guy gangs and taking them out,
Pieces.
I mean, that's not difficult, but
It feels like that other stuff should be extra, like bonus stuff.
also this game, you could interact more with the environment. So, like, if you saw an object just lying around, you
Just
could
for
either
giggles,
pick it up
press the
or
punch
throw it
button when you
lightly.
hear an object to try picking it up. Press punch again to throw it. Don't have time to pick it up? Too lazy? No problem. The kick button will launch an item without picking it up. There. Was that simple enough for you? Or should I play the whole game for you?
Bruce.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so in the Spider-Man 2000 game, you could pick up objects, right? But in this one,
If you hold down the Y button, you can web up an enemy, stopping him in his tracks. But he'll break out sooner or later, though, so don't get too comfy.
okay, Bruce. So, like I was saying, you can pick up objects like the 2000 Spider-Man game, but what made this a vast improvement is, say you're surrounded by enemies and you need a quick getaway. Secret area, I still remember that. Then if you're surrounded by, say, tires or barrels or something, you can press the kick button and you'll just start, like, chucking objects at enemies, weakening their health. Also in this game, since there are a lot of thugs that use guns, you need to use the environment to protect yourself because Spidey doesn't have a block ability, and he's a teenager, so he's not invincible, so a couple shots and you will die.
Oh, wow.
Which make this a pretty difficult Spider-Man game. So you want to use things for cover.
Better save
and
this for when I need
you're
it.
going to want to web zip up to the ceiling or away from enemies because you're going to get swarmed by a bunch of bad guys in this game. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you just have to pay attention to that kind of stuff because this was a game that was like, all right, this is for people who are really grew up with gaming, you're in college now, or you're just starting high school, this game is for you, so we're gonna up the ante a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, this is a movie tie-in game, but just like some of the later games in like we'll say 2001 through 2004, it's kind of hard.
Stop right there, murderer!
Huh? What the?
Don't let him through!
I got the door fuse, boss. He ain't getting through.
This is an annoying trope, though, in this game. Enemies will constantly steal stuff, and you have to go find it to open the door.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Super annoying.
Also, the enemies will be able to shoot you on the ceiling, so you have to constantly be moving. They're not stormtroopers.
Shut your mouth.
Wow.
Look at you. You think you're pretty tough, huh?
Say, I'm gonna tear you to pieces.
Mess with the skulls, you pay the price.
Yeah. Okay, so we got one guy left. You can tie them up and stuff, but, you know. And there, see, that's the spider shield from
Oh, wow.
the 64 game.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's why I'm saying, like, his basic web attacks, before you upgrade them, they're from the 2000 and 2001 Spider-Man games. Mm-hmm. Because it's the same... I believe it's the same developer who made it. I don't remember. The people did Tony Hawk.
Yep. That's cool.
And your spider sense is going to warn you when things are happening too, but it's easier just to be on top of the ceiling like that to avoid
that. Definitely. If you're
that's insta death.
You can't get run over by a car if you're on top of the ceiling.
Forklift.
I can't let anything stop me.
This looks cool right now.
So I can get through.
They did a good job with the vent system.
That should do it. Now to find the guy who killed Uncle Ben.
Sorry, a lot of this is just coming back to me.
In case you don't know already, you can activate a console or switch by standing next to it, facing it, and pressing the punch button. Go ahead, give it a shot.
Yeah,
You never know what might
sounds
happen.
Great.
No, seriously, go ahead. It'll be fine. Go ahead.
Circus in town?
So you can also use your webs to hit switches, just like in the previous Spider-Man 2000 and 2001 game.
Yeah.
You don't have to press the punch button.
Control panel. I'll have to get that back if I want to open that door.
But yeah, that is an annoying aspect of this game that I don't like. Pretty much every level you run into that is a ground-based level, the bad guy will steal, whether it's a key or some piece of machinery, and you'll have to go through a maze of bad guys just for the point of getting it back.
Right.
So they kind of crutch that too much. But every new game
now I just need to find a way to get there.
that they release in the series, sometimes there's going to be things that aren't really going to mesh well.
Now to get that fuse.
Yeah.
Because people are trying to add new ideas to the Spider-Man games.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No fully destructible environments yet. This was kind of before that was really implemented into a lot of games. So.
Yeah, did Bruce Campbell ever do like a voiceover for his... Like, did they ever have a video game for the Evil Dead thing? And,
Yes, they have. They've had several.
And he did voiceover for that? Or
He's reprised his character several times.
Better take off while you still can.
Easy to say that behind a locked door, coward.
Wow, it just... I mean, I know that that's Spider-Man, he has super strength, but his voice sounds like... That's why he was so perfect for it, the actor, because he sounds like a regular teenager, but you know that in reality, he's
What's with the getup, chump?
super strong.
Give me back the key, loser. Or the fuse, or
He
whatever.
sounds a lot weaker than he is.
Yeah.
That's why he was a perfect actor for Spider-Man.
That's why Bruce Campbell said, "The human spider, that sucks. The amazing Spider-Man."
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember, kids, Bruce Campbell gave Spider-Man his name in the movies.
Fuse should
Yeah.
get that door open.
But yeah, whatever object you need to proceed in the level will always appear under your spider icon. That way you know, if you're aimlessly running around and you don't have what you need, just look underneath your spider thing.
This is where the fuse goes. Now I've got you.
We shall see.
Come
All
on,
right.
Spider-Man, you've got this.
Oh man, this game is bringing back so many memories. So this was right before I met you. This was the year before I met you.
Oh, wow.
When this game came out. And I would say that movie license games were actually getting better from 2002 until about like 2006.
Yeah, now they're terrible.
They're non-existent now. The only
yeah,
time
right.
movies will get a game is mobile, if that.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Most companies have foregone that and been like, you know what?
Because nobody wants to buy them because they're usually terrible.
There were a lot of really bad tie-in movie games, but there were some good ones, like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man games. Really good, movie games. Batman Begins is a good movie game. Iron Man is a good movie game. Green Lantern is terrible. Thor is terrible.
We had to look at that terrible license game on the Wii for that DreamWorks movie with the animals.
Yep.
I cannot remember.
Those still happen.
That was just awful.
But superhero ones aren't really common anymore.
Yeah, they make movie license games for little kids.
Yeah.
For little cartoons. Yeah.
And
Hey, you!
we will be looking at a few more superhero games this year, guys and gals. So, I mean, after we milk Spider-Man to death for 3 months,
Yeah.
because we will. You know how long we usually play Arkham games. And we played Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 for about 2 months.
You messed with the wrong
Like showing
guy.
all the costumes and doing fun stuff back in the day.
Yeah, I thought the Cars movie game wasn't that bad.
No, but that's for kids. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they don't really have it for superheroes.
Spider Victory! Warehouse Hunt.
Excelsior!
Yep. I don't think Stanley's in this game. He's in Spider-Man... No, I don't know if he's in the Sam Raimi games.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell fills that void.
He feels it really well.
Yeah.
Like, I really want Bruce Campbell to come back for the any Spider-Man game doing the narration. He's fantastic.
I know, he's like a great Spider-Man narrator.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So even right there, it says use terrain to protect yourself from gunfire. So there's no sure way to survive that. So
Yeah.
got to be careful. All right. So anyway, guys and gals, that does it for the first episode of Spider-Man 2002. Join us next time as we look for Uncle Ben's killer. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Be awesome to see this video get 1,000 likes for Spidey hype. And we'll see you tomorrow with more. God bless and happy gaming.
See ya!